And again, depending on the stage of the company, what do you see as key takeaways? I mean, how do you recruit? Is it dependent upon stage of the company? What are those KPIs or what are those core values? How do you measure? So can you walk us through some specific examples and tools that you perhaps used at Tableau on bringing in the mission to the core processes, hiring, training, the sales motion? What are those behavioral elements that you would include in your managing your teams as well as growing the company?
Yeah. Well, Brenda, I think it is really important to be able to have very specific hiring and performance management tactics that help to make sure you're managing that bar of your mission and value. So here are some very specific things. And I can give kind of tangible examples. Like, for instance, companies should be using behavioral interviewing. And what happens is many companies are focused so much on the experience and the resume skills.
Got it.
That they're looking at, has someone done this job before? Have they been successful in doing this exact thing that I need, whether it's enterprise sales or have they been a CFO before, depending on whatever the role is. But it's really important that everyone can do behavioral interviewing. Now, behavioral interviewing can be kind of tricky. The first thing you need to do is you need to make sure that you understand what behavioral traits you're trying to flesh out.
Okay.
And be very specific on that. And then training everyone that is in the interview process on how do you do behavioral interviewing. Now,
Okay.
some of the things that to do with behavioral attributes is look at the most successful people in your company. What are the behavioral attributes that they have? And then how do you interview and flesh that out in the interview process? So that's example one, and we can do a little bit more there. Number two is, how can you make sure that your core values are being identified and fleshed out, not only in your interview process, but in performance management? So I'll give a very specific example. At Tableau, one of our core values were, like, the first core value was we build great products. Second core value, we use our products.
Got
Well,
it.
how do we flesh that out? At Tableau, I had at the end maybe 1,800 people on my team in the go-to-market organization. Virtually every single one, when they were hired during the interview process, had to do a demo on Tableau, because our mission was we help people see and understand data. Our product was so easy, everyone could use it. And typically in software sales, it's the sales consultant or the sales engineer that does the demo. But in Tableau, it's so easy, we wanted everyone to use the product. So here's an example of what often would happen, especially for someone that was more experienced and further along in their career. We would give them the assignment of, we need you to go download the product, takes 90 seconds to download, go find your own data set, or you can use our sample one, and do a demo. And this is going to be one of the interview stages. And sometimes people would be very excited about it. Other times people would say, hey, Kelly, I'm interviewing with a ton of companies, and if you hire me, then I will learn the product, but I'm not going to spend tons of time to go learn the product in the interview process. And the answer there, you can imagine, Brenda, was, thank you very much. The interview process is done. And and that was a few things. One is, our mission is we help people see and understand data, and we want people that are super excited about that. So if you want to work here, we want you to be very excited about understanding what it is that we do. And if you're not going to do that in the interview process, then you're not really that passionate about our mission. But secondly, we wanted people who were going to be all in and be able to use our product. And that was one of our core values that we fleshed out very early on. So there's ways that you can look at that. Another tangible is, in the annual performance review, it wasn't just the work that you did, But in our annual performance review, at most of the companies that I've been involved in, one of the checks are how much are you abiding and embodying the core values of the company?
Okay.
And people didn't get promotions, they didn't get pay increases, they didn't get high ratings unless they were living every day according to the core values of how they interacted with the internal team and with the customer. So those are some tangible ways. To summarize again, behavioral interviewing, flesh out the core values in the interview process, and make sure that those core values and adherence and passion about the mission are part of your annual performance review process.
Thank you very much. 3 practical tools when you're scaling your organization, not just in sales, the entire organization. That's very, very helpful.